Alrighty, so let's talk about how ConnectWise is going to help you with revenue generation, lead generation, and then keeping that in the system as we go through to eventually an invoice. On the marketing standpoint, really what we're focused in on with marketing here is that net new, right? Getting the word out via maybe your Facebook page or your LinkedIn on what you offer as a company. What's your name of your game? That's going to drive revenue through the door and then get those out there. And like I said, with our tool set, we've got a variety of avenues for you there, whether it be social media, email, maybe a landing page that you're getting that lead generation from. Here's something that's really missed though in the business is everyone thinks net new, which is absolutely important. But it is much harder to get net new sales than existing customers. If you've got an existing customer base, leverage that information already from the get-go. So as you see here, I've got an easy way to go ahead and start creating leads, whether that be from maybe a trade show we went to, or maybe I've got a recent campaign that I started offering a new service to my existing customers or my net new. And that's really the key here is that existing. I'm able to go ahead and build out those lead groups, maybe by all the assets that we go ahead and manage. Any piece of information on that asset that I think is important and valuable, I can go ahead and capture. So let's say, for instance, we've got maybe a 365 service we started offering. And I want to go ahead and capture the end of life for all those people that have servers out there, those Exchange servers. I can go ahead and do that and capture an end of life that's coming up in, let's say, 90 days, and go ahead and target a campaign towards those people. And then what customers am I going to go ahead and target with that? Well, if I can jump into any of my customers, I can go ahead and have different tags on them. So for instance here, Brad, he's the main decision maker and he really holds the checkbook for J&B Legal. I've denoted that here. So when I generate that campaign, I'm not only am I targeting specific assets, I'm targeting specific contacts in my client base. And that's really what's going to help push those ROI numbers up a little bit for me, because with marketing, you've got to be pointed and poignant with whatever your content you're generating there, and I'm able to do that. Now, coming into campaign, I'm able to schedule those out in a nice list here. So when I want to go ahead and send out, let's say, that end of life that I was speaking to, I can go ahead and schedule it for this Monday. And when I do so and send that out, I'm going to get some KPIs coming back in as far as, okay, who overall did that go to? Who maybe opened it, clicked into it, so on and so forth. Because, it just depends on your marketing kind of train of thought. Do you kind of cast that wide net and then from there maybe send up a follow-up campaign based on who opened it? Or again, are we going with that more targeted approach right out of the gate? Either way is successful there. And with lead scoring, based on who does interact with those, let's say, emails in this example I'm giving, I'm able to go ahead and score that, maybe generate leads for me via maybe a phone call to go ahead and make that discovery outreach, or maybe a brand new sales opportunity that I'm already kind of assigned to from the get-go. Now, speaking about that lead generation, we've automated that for you. So as a sales rep, when I come in to start my day, I might have what we call an activity right from the get-go sitting on my plate. So here I've got a Windows 7 and a life lead that was generated by campaign that I can go ahead and quickly schedule out to my calendar here. And again, we have that 365 Exchange and G Suite integration. So if I have a personal calendar on any of those, I go ahead and drag and drop, throw on my Friday afternoon here, and boom, it schedules it and syncs over to my personal calendar there. So I'm not going to miss it. After I go ahead and have that discussion, I vet out that customer. Now I'm able to go ahead and have that opportunity in our sales pipeline that are going to begin to work here. So I've had that discovery conversation, and now I've spoken to Brad. I have a good understanding of what he's looking for from a proposal standpoint. He absolutely wants to go ahead and move off Exchange to the cloud and my new 365 service offering, which is great. But on top of that, I'm getting the bonus if he wants a full refresh of all of his existing hardware, because that end of life is coming up. So I simply hit the word quote and jump right into that nice proposal and start building it out from scratch. What's really great too about this tool is we realize from a sales rep perspective, right? The last thing you want to do is be spending admin time building out your proposals. You want to go ahead and be even either face-to-face or kind of running through your pipeline, seeing what's going to close, forecasting accurately, basically anything but this. So we've really made this easy to automate from a sales perspective as far as, hey, if you have that standard cover letter, do you want to go ahead and have? Or maybe your terms and conditions, you've got those. If you need to go ahead and quickly product source, I come in, I can hit this utilize search. That's going to allow me to go ahead and tap into all sorts of different vendors and disties right here. even see what they have available from an on-hand perspective. Maybe I want to go ahead and see what's close as far as to Brad here, and I want to save on shipping and save on that time. I can go ahead and do so and see what's available where. I can dive into the product and get even more information. What do we typically sell this at? What do we want this at in the past? That's going to give me a nice kind of watermark as far as what do I need to go ahead and be offering at this price. I can dive into this product to get some more information as far as, hey, maybe accessories that I want to go ahead and piggyback onto this tool. Or maybe there's specs that, I think are really important from a device perspective. Like perhaps Brad was reaching out to me and he said, Sam, with this full refresh, we really want to make sure we have, maybe this much memory on all devices going forward. I'm able to go ahead and quickly add any of that information to the quote along with this piece of hardware. Now, as soon as I go ahead and do that, I want to go ahead and see a pop out to the right of what is this quote going to look like to my customer. I'm able to dictate that right from here and see that. So if there's anything I don't like from a visual standpoint, or maybe it doesn't make sense from a flow standpoint, not a problem. I can come back in here, make any revisions pretty quickly with a rich text editor. I can go ahead and drag and drop, move the layout of this quote around very easily. I can also go ahead and put up markups. If I want to go ahead and modify the price of this device, I can absolutely go ahead and do that. Maybe I want to go ahead and have a 10% markup here. Or maybe I want to go ahead and impact the overall gross margin. And right here at the top, I've got an easy kind of litmus test as where am I at from a margin perspective, an overall dollar amount perspective. Those can trigger reviews. Perhaps we have a certain quote that's going out the door over a dollar amount. We want to make sure that's accurate. I can go ahead and kick off maybe my manager to go ahead and review and get eyes on this quote before we go ahead and send it out the door to our prospect there or our existing customer. And then of course the publish and deliver. Once I go ahead and present this quote formally to my prospect here, what is that going to look like from a visual standpoint? Here's where, maybe a video with a quick customer testimonial that I want to add to the quote will be impactful. Or maybe, just like we did here, with an existing customer, I want to let them know what other services we're currently offering. I can go ahead and attach maybe a quick informational video on that. Plant those seeds for later on. Down the road, they're going to come to me because they realize, hey, by the way, my MSP does this. Now, after we go ahead and get that out the door, they're going to have a nice landing page to go to, an interactive web quote right here. And I can build optionality into this quote. Maybe we've got different upgrades they want to go ahead and have on that warranty. Or maybe also on top of that, I realize that my customers are a lot stickier when I kind of have maybe a nice hand-holding session after the fact. I can do that as well. They can update with whatever choices they want to roll with and go ahead and sign off right from here. And we can even take payment in. So whether they've got a credit card, a banking account, they can go ahead and put that processing in right from here and pay off, or maybe put a down payment against this. Now, from a reporting standpoint as well, as a sales rep, I want to know how we're doing and what are those key indicators for me. I've got that right here at my fingertips as well, to go ahead and see kind of a report card on me to see how I'm doing, overall pipeline I've touched, maybe overall forecasted for the rest of the month or year. That's all available to me. Now, coming back into our marketing aspect here, at the end of the day, marketing is great, but it's got to have ROI tied to it. I'm able to see that here as well, to see, hey, what campaigns have been really successful from an ROI standpoint? That way I can focus in on those different aspects and see what's really gaining traction with my existing customer base or from a net new perspective. But again, I've got that information all at my fingertips. So from marketing, sending out those leads and getting those coming back in, to processing the leads, to eventually getting a signed proposal, we've got everything right here from a sales and marketing perspective in ConnectWise.